Hi, my name is Shafiq. Today I will be talking about how to deal with a violent person and how to apply restraint in bed. But first, let's talk about how to deal with a violent person. In a hospital, if we come across people that are violent, we need to, number one, we need to call the security team. Number two, de-escalating the situations. De-escalating the situations means that we are trying to deal with a dangerous situation, which in this case, a violent person. We are trying to deal with them in a peaceful manner. It is important to keep in mind that people that are aggressive or violent is not exactly rational. So we need to be careful on how do we act around them, especially our verbal communications, our non-verbal communications, because although we do not mean to challenge them, we are not trying to anger them, but because they are not exactly rational, they can take it as such. When it comes to verbal communications, we need to look out for things that we say around them, our tone of voice. We do not want to scream at them, we do not want to call them names, insult them, or even try to argue with them. This is if, let's say, initially they were just verbal, they will and can get physical. When it comes to non-verbal communications, we need to look out for our body language, which means our posture, our facial expression, our gestures, because these things can be taken the wrong way by the violent person. So when it comes to body language, our posture, so let's say right now if I'm talking to you, you can see both of my shoulders. But if let's say I'm trying to engage in a fight, I wouldn't stand this way, I would stand sideways. So this, I'm trying to engage in a fight. And if you do this when it comes to dealing with a violent person, they can see it as, oh, you are trying to fight me, you are trying to challenge me. And they can get even more violent, which is the last thing that we want. And now we are going to talk about how to apply restraint in bed. So there are actually three kinds of bed restraint. We have wrist restraint, we got ankle restraint, and also waist restraint. But unfortunately, I have none of those right now, but we are going to make it from a belt by using a belt so that we get a rough idea on how to apply it at least. But for the waist restraint, I'm going to put a picture for reference in the video. So I'm going to show you now how to apply the restraint. But now, again, I'm just going to use a belt as a makeshift restraint. So on the actual restraint, which you can see now on the screen, I put a picture. So on the top part, you can see there is actually something like a loop that you can use to connect the restraint to the bed. And on the top part, there would be, I'm just going to loop the belt to mimic a cuff, which the cuff is where you put the ankle or wrist. So now I'm just going to just show on the concept how to apply it. So I'm going to connect it to the bed frame. I'm just going to make one loop here, and then for the top part I'm just going to make another loop to imitate the cuff. So I'm just going to connect it to the buckle here, and now we have a restraint. And this is how the patient will put their arms in, and now they are restrained the wrist. If let's say the patient have the tendency to pull the catheter out or the IV lines, this is how you prevent it from happening. And again, I'm just going to do it once because I only have one, but the concept, whether you want to apply it on the wrist or the ankle, is still the same. And that was on how to apply restraint on bed, either ankle restraint or wrist restraint. But I apologize because I could not demonstrate anything that is even close to a waist restraint, but I'm just going to put a picture here. But in the picture you can see, instead of the restraint connecting to the bed frame, it goes underneath the mattress. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching.